Well, it's a great day, everyone. Welcome to the Happy Entrepreneur Show. I'm super excited for all of my guests that are on the panel, those that you can see right now and the many that are coming up. Why don't you wave, everybody, and say hello to all those folks that are out there watching you. Give them a little wave and say hello to them. They're alive. They're ready. And all of these experts showed up for one reason and one reason only, and that is to change your life or change your business. So for all of the single moms out there, the single dads, the married couples, you're here. But I know there's some folks in some relationships that are watching as well. And if you're an entrepreneur or a dualpreneur, my promise to you is that this will be a good use of your time to help you reach your goals faster with less effort than you would if you wasn't. So they're prepared, they're fired up, they're ready to go. Now, some of you are hearing for the first time because you just got this message shared to you. You're thinking, what is Millionaire Power Couple? And if I'm not a couple, one, should I pay attention? And number two, why that title? Why now? So I'm going to turn it over to Eric and Dr. Sakisha Heilig. We'll give them about 90 seconds to 2 minutes to come in and just give you the framework. What is Millionaire Power Couple? Why is it important? And why are these experts here today to do one thing and one thing only, and that is to serve. And the second thing, add value. They're going to do two things. They're going to serve plus add value. All right, Eric, Dr. Sakisha, talk to us.
Hey, Shay. Hello, everyone. We're super excited about being here. First of all, we want to thank each and every one of you for sharing your gifts, sharing your talents with everyone that's watching. We're excited because this summit is going to transform lives, not only for those that are married, but for those that are actively dating and actively waiting. We're going to help them do things in 3 areas. We're going to help them build those solid, healthy relationships that they are looking for. We're going to help them build those successful businesses that they desire. And we're going to also help them build that generational wealth. We're cutting out that paycheck to paycheck living. And we collaborated with a group of speakers. You can see them here on the screen. They're going to help us accomplish it. They are here, they're on fire, and they're ready to change and transform lives. So that is why we are here, Shay.
Well, when you say that, for the person, and I don't want to be funny, but has worked all day today and said, wow, I worked all day. I've got to get up in the morning. I'm tuned in, Eric and Dr. Sakisha. I'm watching right now. But can you take a moment and tell me, number one, this whole Millionaire Power Couple, where do I go to see what this thing is about? They might want to know where they can go online. I think it's millionairepowercouple.com. So tell them where they can go. And then number two, for the person that says, just give me one reason. Just give me one reason, not why they should be here, but why this is going to be a good use of their time. You've already gave them 3 or 4 or 5 reasons, but don't worry. You listening at home right now that's worked all day, that's got a lot of things to do right now, they've got more. Give them one more reason why, please.
You know what, Shay, it's for that person that's watching. I understand you worked all day, but you know what? I know on the inside of you, you want something different. You want to go to the next level. You desire to see change. Well, this is the perfect opportunity to experience it. Get the tools and strategies that you need to go to the next level. Just remember ACT, action changes things. So it's time for them to take action and register now so they can change some things in their lives and in their businesses.
Wow. Now, also, if you're single, you say, well, what's this Millionaire Power Couple got to do with me? Well, if you're single, that means you're ready to mingle, but also you want to know what a Millionaire Power Couple is and how to become one. What are you looking for with that spouse, that power couple spouse? Someone that you can build a life with, build and protect wealth with, build not only life, but family. And so that's what single people look for. And the couples are there. You're married, you say, okay, yes, I never knew about building generational wealth. I never, all I knew is I get my 9 to 5, and I'm good. So this gives you a lot of tools, strategies, and different perspectives. Also, the foundation is the couple. And then you say, well, we want to go into business together. Well, this is going to give you the tips and strategies of how to go into business together and be successful in your marriage.
Wow, very powerfully said. Look, we're going to jump right into it. The reason that I'm here is that I know one thing is that whenever that the Marriage Can Win group get together. Whenever they come together, there's always value, and I always learn. The question is always posed is, when do you stop learning, right? And the obvious answer is you never stop learning. The one thing I know about all successful people, they have one common belief, and the belief they can always get better. Or dare I say they can always upgrade. I love that, upgrade. Why don't we go over to the upgraders right now? They call themselves the upgraders, but we're going to first find out who they are. So I'm going to ask each person, and for you watching at home, you might want to know, what can I expect? We're going to ask each person to give you their first name, their last name, where they're broadcasting in from, and then we'll have a conversation about their keynote topic. And don't worry, I'm going to ask them to give you one idea that you can use now. Now, you're going to go over to millionairepowercouple.com. I know, because you want more. But I'm going to ask them to make sure to give you one idea that you can implement, that you can use, that either help you in your personal life or help you grow your business. All right, with that being said, let me go over to the one and only, the upgraders. What's going on, Tanya? What's going on, Dexter? You tell them your name.
Hey, Shay, what's going on, everybody? My name is Dexter Scott.
And I am Tanya Joyner Scott.
All right. Good to be here tonight, guys.
Yeah, but you didn't tell us where you're broadcasting. Well, okay. They're first,
okay.
ladies and gentlemen. Don't worry. They're first. So they'll tell you where are they broadcasting in from now, and then they might tell you where they're from.
Okay, there you go. We are broadcasting from St. Petersburg, Florida, on vacation by way of Wake Forest, North Carolina.
Yes.
Now,
And I'm telling you, we are pumped. We're so excited to be here with you on today, Shay. You know what? You got me moving a little bit. Yeah, I'm kind of pumping up a little bit. I'm like, go ahead and throw that energy over here some. What you want us to drop? We ready to drop. What you need?
Well, now I'm curious. Before we get into the topic and everything, you're on vacation. You're in St. Petersburg, Florida, and yet you stop vacation. And I know what it's like to be in vacation mode. I was just there. I like to stay in vacation mode if I can. And you're stopping what you're doing right now in vacation, in all seriousness, to spend some time to share your thoughts, share your message, share your ideas, even share your story to help someone else. Take a minute or so and tell us why you're deciding to do that now when you could do something else. You don't have to be here, but you're here right now. Why?
Well, we both think that it is vitally important that everybody upgrades their lives and upgrade your marriage and upgrade your business. See, here's the thing. Our philosophy is this. Everybody upgrades their phone, they upgrade their house, they upgrade their car. But what about their marriage? What about their lives? We think it's vitally important. So that's why the rest of our family is downstairs watching movies, and we are upstairs in our bedroom serving the Hilux, because they are phenomenal people. So we just want to be there for them. What do you think, Tanya?
Yeah, he's absolutely right. He's right.
Yeah.
It sounds like bribery. I wonder what you had to bribe them with, by the way, to be quiet and give up the internet connection so you could be on the internet. We know. I know this. I'm not going to go there. So take a moment, if you would. Let's jump into it. What is your keynote topic, and what's one of the problems that this keynote topic helps to solve?
Okay, that's really good. So our title is How to Upgrade Your Marriage and Your Business. And we're going to drop 4 key principles in our talk. But one of those principles is being communicators, not communication, but communicators, because we're 20 years in this thing. And Tanya and I have learned that we have to upgrade being communicators to one another. And that's what's so effective in our marriage. We're still learning, but it's a process that we love it. It's amazing.
It is amazing. And I can even just say now to even just drop a little bit, because, everybody talks about communicating, but what we have to do is to learn how to take ownership for yourself. Yeah. I'm personally responsible for me. Dexter is personally responsible for himself. So what we do is we take responsibility to be the communicator in the marriage with one another. Mm-hmm. So we have a shared pool of meaning. If I withhold on information, it's not going to get us to the place that we need to be in marriage or business if he withholds. So we both take personal responsibility to be the communicator that we need to be in order to have an effective business relationship as well as marriage.
Absolutely.
Take a moment, if you would, to the person that says, and this might be an unfair question, but I think you'll be able to handle it. They say, well, my husband or wife, they work a full-time job, but I'm an entrepreneur. And so what advice do you have for us that's been in the business for a couple of years or been married a couple of years or want to be in a relationship when you're both not in business, right? One person works and then one person's an entrepreneur. What would you say that person is watching right now that's thinking, yeah, that's pretty reasonable, Shay. What advice would they give someone like myself since they've been doing this for 20 years now?
I mean, I would just say what we just talked about is being a communicator. I mean, there's something going on in the dynamic of the communication that has that couple potentially off. All they have to do is come to that shared pool of meaning.
Yeah.
He shares, she shares objectively, and then they will come to a resolve. Look, in that very moment, an upgrade is taking place because they're coming closer together to find out what works best for their family.
Yeah, and I can just say too, and it kind of taps into, we want to make sure that you join us, because what it is that we're going to be talking about, all of the principles, even to your question right now, Shay, they all work and blend together. A lot of times people hear things and they think it should operate in isolation. Not at all. When you identify principles, they work together. So when we go over these things, you're going to realize that, wow, I need to. So let me even just say this, because that's a big one. We weren't in agreement when it got started in business, because I was afraid. My husband, he was ready. He was reading, he was learning, he was watching videos, but I was in hiding. I made excuses and I found reasons as to why not, opposed to why we should. With that being said, how did we come into agreement? So I'll just say this right now. There was a patience that was here. And so we can go deep into this thing, okay? But I'll just say this right now is, he is my head. And this is the thing, and I can say this to a brother, he can probably speak to the sisters even the more. But one thing that I have learned and I can release to everyone now is, even in the word of God, he teaches that man how to handle her. He talks about us being the weaker one. That's not necessarily in knowledge, you know. It doesn't mean that we're dumber or anything like that, but there is a way to treat me. There is a way to talk to me. There is a way to handle me. And he knows how to do that. So there was always respect that was there for me. So I might not have been where he was at the time, but he was patient enough with me, talking to me, giving me the information until I was able to come up and come into agreement. And those things take time. So there's even a principle that we discuss of edification. That's really big. So to my sisters, we have to know how to do that for our men. We're going to talk about that a little bit too.
Well, don't worry, everyone. We're not going to let them leave you there. We're going to ask them to talk a little about edification. We'll give them a minute or two, 2 minutes, talk about that. They will not leave you hanging. I promise you that will not happen. But I'm curious, as Oscar and Tamika's over there listening right now, and they hear you talk about you have to communicate. You have to be a communicator, and you have to be patient, Oscar or Tamika. What's going on in your mind right now as you're listening to Dexter and Tanya Scott?
I think one of the things is just being mindful. You know, mindfulness of knowing right where your partner is.
Mindfulness. I like that. And Tamika, what's going on in your mind?
And that helps with the upgrade. It's just gonna help propel, launch, and catapult to the next level. So I love it. It's awesome.
God, I love it. Thanks so much. Now, Tanya, I know you threw out there the word edification, and edification means different things to different people, obviously. So take a moment and kind of frame the conversation. We'll give you an extra minute or two here to they heard the word edification. Wow, I like that too. Now, you can go over to millionairepowercouple.com for those folks that are tuned in or just watching right now. And you can make sure that you register. Now, here's the good news. There's no Cash App needed, no Zelle payment needed, no credit card needed. You can just go and register and sign up. For those folks that are watching, they want to bless someone else, you can pay this message forward by hitting the share button. Just look right there, grab the link, and share this, pay this message forward. Tanya, Dexter, either one of you, edification, 2-part question. What's the problem? Why do people struggle with edification? And number 2, well, what's the upgrade answer, obviously?
Well, so it could get deep in there too, but I'll just say this even now, because the thing about for a woman is it's about being loved. I believe, and my sisters here, I would love to hear from them too, to see if they agree, maybe some head nods or so forth if you do agree. But a lot of times for us, it's also with tone. And for women, we want to be understood. For men, it's respect. So this is something that I learned very early on too. So when I even talk about edification, it's a means of even looking to him to thank him. You know, how often, and this is a lot of times part of human nature. We oftentimes will say what's wrong, but we don't ever talk about what's right.
Yeah.
And we need to get to a place where what it is that I'm looking for, I look for what it is that's right. And I say, thank you. I'm a daddy's girl, right? So being a daddy's girl, daddy took care of us, honey. The cars would be fixed. If we broke down on the side of the highway, we could call daddy. If something else, we could call dad. Those types of things. And I can recall this is for my husband. And I see him being that person in my life. I thank him. I'll honor him. I'll edify him for being that man in my life. Our children, my son, he sees daddy. Our daughters, they see daddy. Our oldest daughter now, and we've heard her say it. There was someone she was dating. There's a comparison that she does, you know, and if she doesn't see him operating in the way that daddy does, then he's not. Yeah, it didn't work out. It didn't work out. It just didn't. But that's what I mean by edifying. And I'll say it again. I remember doing an exercise one time, and I was just up on a board, and I was like, 1 + 1 is 2, 2 + 2 is 4. 4 + 2 is 6. 6 + 3 is 10. 6, and as I'm going through, they was like, wait a minute, no, that's not right. 6 + 3 is 9. And I'm like, but the whole time I got it right, nobody said, that's right, that's right. But as soon as I got it wrong, that's when people begin to speak up. So that's the thing. We have to know how to edify. We have to know how to use our words to lift people up and not tear them down. And that is very key in marriage. It's key in any relationship.
Very key, very important. One, first of all, I want to thank you for taking some time. Don't worry, we're gonna bring them back up. They'll have an opportunity to share some more thoughts that they have that's going on right now. And as they're doing that, I know on the other side, I know that Oscar and Tamika are sitting there and they're in the queue, and we're going to be going to them in just a minute and bring them up and hear what their message is. But I want to go over to Eric and Sakisha quickly and just kind of share what was the significance. Why was the upgraders chosen to be part of the marriage, the Millionaire Couple Summit? Is that right? No, Millionaire Power Couple. I gotta write that down. You know, there was a time I can remember this stuff. MillionairePowerCouple.com. MillionairePowerCouple.com. Why, Dexter and Tanya? Talk to us.
Well, as you can see and as you can hear, they are true to the word. They are the upgraders. They know how to upgrade your mindset, your thinking in your relationship. Because the first thing about being in a relationship is your mindset, because you have two individuals coming from two different worlds. And, you know, one may be up here, one may be there. But they know how to give you the tools and strategies to get on the same accord and go up together. So that was one of the key things about them that we say, well, this is where we're going. We need to have the marriages being built up and building up your business. And they were #1 draft pick, if anything. Keisha?
You know what I love about the upgraders is their heart and their passion. I've been watching them for some time now, and you can hear it in their voices when when they're speaking. You can feel that they're passionate about seeing transformation and seeing change take place. And just to see you go to the next level, to see you upgraded and in your marriage and in your business. So I've watched them for years, and they walk out what they teach. And for me, that was the icing on the cake. I was like, look, that's it. They have to be on here.
Well, good. I'm super excited. I'm glad to hear. Thank you so much for participating. We'll be coming back to you shortly. We're going to head over to the one and only, or both one and only, Oscar and Tamika West. Take a moment and tell folks, well, I just told them your name, but, you know, tell them your name anyway so they can hear you say it. And where are you broadcasting it from?
My name is Oscar.
My name is Tamika West.
Yes, as you stated, we are broadcasting from Patterson, Louisiana, representing.
All right, now Louisiana's in the building. Wake Forest, not quite in the building. They're down there in St. Petersburg somewhere. But I hear Louisiana's in the building. Take a moment, if you would, and you know the drill. They want to know, what is your keynote topic? What problem does it solve? So you got a keynote topic. So what's the topic? And secondly, what problems does this keynote solve that you're going to be talking about at the MillionairePowerCouple.com Summit?
Our keynote topic is loving your spouse. That's a big one. loving your spouse. And that goes with a lot, right, baby?
Yes, and what we're actually talking about is our relationship framework. We say that because as our last couple just talked about, communication is so important. And one of the things that locked us in when we heard the Holics say exactly what we talk about all the time, communication, finances, and sex. And what locked us in and we thought that we knew that we had to be a part of this is those three things is the problem, but nobody really ever want to talk about them. So what we have found is that, first of all, we believe that Christ and the Bible is the epitome of how we supposed to treat one another. So what we do is we take that relationship, which we believe not only, again, marriages, we think is the top relationship. That's the mirror of how we should do everything, including our business. So we take this, we work with couples within this summit, but we're also working with businesses because guess what? Sometimes that wonderful, beautiful lady right there is just a mirror. It's just a mirror that many times God uses for me to see the prejudice or the arrogance that's within me. And if she wasn't here, I would tell you that sometime I'm her mirror, but we're not gonna go there right now.
Well, you know,
I don't need no mirror.
the mirror, I love it. The mirror, the smiles. As you're doing this right now, there might be some folks that are listening and they might be saying, Shay, this is great. This is wonderful. They're feeling all the energy right now, and I am as well. They might be wondering, hey, was there ever a challenge that maybe Oscar and Tamika had that they had to work it out as well? And how did they apply this in their own relationship? Now, maybe yours has been perfect. I don't know. I'm on my third marriage, by the way. I'm in it 3 years, by the way. So I'm doing very well. Don't feel bad for me. I'm still on my honeymoon. I'm going to have a honeymoon for the rest of my life. That's my number one mission. But as I learned from you and every one of you here right now, they might be wondering, wow, was there ever a challenge that they had to go through and how and what skills did they use to get through that? And then you don't have to share if you don't want to, but we're curious. We're all nosy folks. We want to know.
Yeah, we would love to. This is why we're here, because we want people to actually even attend our workshop during this summit where we could talk more about this, because one of the things we always share with people, we are completely vulnerable. When I first met my wife, she had to always be in the house for 11 o'clock, Shay. Not because I was trying to be an abusive spouse, but because growing up from the age of 12 years old, because there was infidelity within my household. See, some of the things we don't like to talk about, like I said, sex. But because of that, from 12 years old, I was taught by men that the only thing that was open up after 11 was 7-Eleven convenience stores and legs, which meant that from a 12-year-old mind, I'm coming up, and as a young man, even 18 years old, that's all I've heard. So that means that every girlfriend I've dated, everybody, including when I first married her, this woman then drove home dangerously on the road, crazy stuff.
Trying to get home.
Trying to get home for 11 o'clock.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, that's a form of emotional abuse. But see, we don't leave people there.
Right.
We show them that being present means looking back at the past, sometimes calling that to conscious to find out why is he responding the way he's responding. So our thing is when we read the Bible that talks about renewing the mind, we don't throw that across the pulpit on a Sunday. We teach the people we work with, how does that look? We teach brain science and how do you create neural pathways within the mind so that we can fix this. So what she's learning, we've learned together, is we've learned to connect to a point, not to where she's trying to correct me, but that she can empower me so that there's not a need for correction. And that's how we actually fix that. And by the way, I wasn't the only one that was fixed, but we'll talk about some of that other stuff doing the session.
I was just wondering because, I don't know, that wouldn't have worked for me, but what works for you works. And I'm glad you shared that with you. And as you're doing that, I'm wondering what Michelle and Jim are thinking over there as they're listening in right now and hearing you talk about what you're talking about now. Michelle or Jim, what's kind of going through your mind right now? They've been vulnerable. They've said, hey, things ain't always been perfect, but here's how we've made what we have better and better and better. What's going through your mind right now?
Shay, the first thing that came to my mind was there's only been one perfect person who's walked on this earth, and I'm not married to him. Not even.
Michelle, you're funny.
So we all have faults. Nobody here is perfect, and marriage is a lot of give and take. Marriage is also I like to think of it as a great big learning experiment, because for you, Shay, you've gone through this experiment 3 times now.
Twice. I'm on my third one. I'm on my third one. I'm on my third one.
Yeah. This is your third experiment that you're going through, and you learned a lot from the first 2 that you brought into this third experiment.
Yeah.
And that's how I look at this: is you learn together, you grow together, and you find what works. And that's what you really need to focus on, is what's working for you, because what works for you may not work for somebody else. And when you have these 2 very different individuals joined together as one, you need to figure out what's going to keep you together as one.
Yeah, and I think a big part of that, going back to the story that we just heard, is you have to have faith in each other.
Yes.
You have to have faith that the other person is going to be there for you, that they're not going to be out there doing things that they shouldn't be doing.
No.
And then you have to have trust. Trust is a big part of the whole marriage relationship. And, really, if you can't trust the person that you're with, then you've got a problem.
Yeah.
And fortunately, we've never really had much of an issue with that. So
I love that. First of all, thanks so much for sharing your point of view. Y'all can hear their passion as you're watching home. If I had more time, they're so passionate. You hear it coming out of them. But don't worry, we're going to come back to Michelle and Jim. They just volunteered to be next. So they'll be coming up in a moment. So you're going to hear from them, which is going to be really super exciting. We've got Wendy, we got Kalisha, we got Jonathan, them waiting out there. They're coming. But I want to go back over to Oscar and Tamika and ask them if they'll share one more idea. Just another idea. They've got a whole workshop, and you can find that over at millionairepowercouple.com. It's a summit that's taking place, but they're not going to leave you where they are. They came with their best. So I'm going to ask them to answer a question. If they can give you another piece of advice to help you on this journey. For those folks that are looking, for those folks that are in a committed relationship, and those folks that are married, what advice do they offer you now? So one more idea, if you would, Tamika. Or Oscar, whichever one.
Well, let me just say this here, Shay, because we don't want to leave people there. And I think that's the thing. It's okay to have had that experience, but it's not okay to stay there.
Right.
So the thing is what we do is we walk people through how does that look to change it? How do you create those new neural pathways so that now you can be safe? And I would say to especially to the females is be vulnerable. Allow your spouse to be vulnerable, because the thing is males, I can go there and tell you, we're not used to that. So if in the future argument she would have threw that vulnerability up at me, it would have sent me back in what we call in brain science back into downstairs brain, and it wouldn't have never happened again. So we're here to help couples continue to grow from their space. Any comments, baby?
Yeah. And so what helped me is that I didn't realize that my husband grew up with that belief about women. So I'm like, you can't tell me what time to come in. So, I'm on my own defense. But come to find out, when I realized that he grew up with the belief, then I had a opportunity to allow him to be vulnerable, to let me know about that. And then I was able to empower him to let him know that, baby, I'm here. You're my only boo thing.
Yeah. So empowerment is always more important than correction. That's our selling point. Because we weren't taught that. We were always taught try to correct, try to make sure he understands that you're the woman, or try to make sure that she understands you're the man, and people struggling with that. So we want to teach them connect to empower rather than to correct.
Connect to empower, connect to empower, connect to empower. I'll say it one more time. Connect to and what? To empower. For those folks out there watching right now, you're watching the Happy Entrepreneur Show. We have a very, very special behind-the-scenes conversation with the experts of the Millionaire Power Couple. These are all experts at what they do, which is really helping you improve your personal life, so it's personal development, but it's also business growth in there now. And they're just having a conversation, speaking from the heart. I'm going to ask Eric and Dr. Sakisha if they'll take a moment before we go over to Michelle and Jim, and take a moment and just talk about why was this couple selected to be in and a part of the Millionaire Power Summit?
Well, we were fortunate to actually attend one of their sessions, and just listening to them, we were like, wow, they mimic what we're saying, and they have a heart for relationships to win and marriages to win, relationships to move towards marriages and marriages not to move towards divorce. And I love the way they utilize examples, and they brought a little scientific information to actually solidify what we say. Because a lot of times people say, well, you always say that, but what proof? Give me some proof behind it. And they brought the proof to the pudding, and it made that pudding just that much more sweeter. But no, they are great people. We love their heart. We love their passion to help marriages, survive. Keisha?
No, I mean, we had an amazing conversation with Oscar and Tamika, just watching them teach as a part of their challenge and just hearing their heart for couples. So we said, hey, when we were looking for couples for the Millionaire Power Couple Summit, we are looking for couples that are demonstrating, that are practicing what they preach, looking for their passion and their heart and their dedication and commitment to helping others, other marriages to be successful and win. So that was one of the reasons we connected with them, and we said, hey, you have got to be a part of the summit.
Well, first of all, thanks so much for being here. We're going to come back to them. Each of these folks shortly will tell you a little bit about what they do later, and they'll tell you how to connect with them. And don't worry, I've asked them if they would share their closing comments, and they've all agreed to, so you don't want to miss it. It's going to be amazing. But we've got much more to go. But you don't want to miss it. Let me tell you, they're ready. They're fired up. They help inspire and empower you to do more, be more, and have more. But we're going to get to that. They've got more. Okay. With that being said, let's go over to Michelle and Jim. Tell us your full name, if you would, and then also share where you're broadcasting in from.
Sure. I'm Michelle Teague.
And I'm Jim Teague.
We're part of a Teague of Your Own, and we are broadcasting in from just outside of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, where it is a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
Right. You said just outside Pennsylvania. Just outside Pennsylvania is pretty broad, by the way. Most folks say I'm like from Washington, D.C., or he was like, I'm from Wake Forest, and he was from somewhere. You're like, just outside of Pittsburgh. So is there a town or a county? We're just curious. Not that I would know, by the way, but
Yeah, we're just outside of Pittsburgh.
Okay, Pittsburgh. That's good. Pittsburgh. Okay, let us know so we can be clear. We love that. Okay, so with that being said, tell us the name of your topic, if you would, in all seriousness, the name of the topic, and also what problem does this particular keynote solve?
Sure. Our topic is the power of ideation, which big word.
Yeah.
Basically
ideation. Is that like 8 syllables or something? Ideation.
Close.
Basically, it's coming up with new and different ways of doing things, or coming up with new products and services if you have a business. But people and businesses can use this information to help them overcome some of the challenges that they're facing, overcome some of the problems that they may be facing, and come up with new ideas to input into their businesses or input into their lives, so they will get different outputs, basically, is what it comes down to.
Right. And this can be used in your personal life. It can be used in your business life. We go through talking about various ways to really stimulate your thinking. Yeah. Because I think everybody here, we're all in the idea industry. We're all in the information industry. And a big part of that is understanding that there's nothing new under the sun. All we do is we take all of the different ideas that come to us from out there in the ether, and we put it together in new ways. And so this power of ideation helps in going through that process, whether it's, as a married couple or as a team in your business, of figuring out new ways of doing things, new ways of putting things together, coming up with the ideas that are going to best get you to where you need to be.
Right.
Right.
And part of it can be just as simple as brainstorming.
Mm-hmm.
All of us have had to try and brainstorm for new ideas. The beauty of brainstorming is the more people you have, the more diversity of thought that you have, the better your brainstorming sessions are going to be, and the more productive, the better it's going to be for coming up with new ideas and new solutions to the problems that you're facing.
Yeah, and when you say brainstorming and different ideas, is there a technique that's part of this? Do I just call a couple of my homies up and say, "Hey, guy, let's talk about some ideas"? If we can, if in the time that we have, if you had say, "Okay, here's something that they can go do," like maybe there's a technique that they could use. I know they're going to come to your keynote and they'll get a chance to do a deep dive. But for the person that's like, "You got me." Okay, I'm on the hook. I'm leaning in, and I do look for ideas. I look for ways to do things better, faster, with more speed, bigger, and so forth. But what's one technique that Michelle or Jim may be able to share with me that I can say, I can do this? Like this I can do. What would you recommend?
First thing I would tell you to do is get a pad of sticky notes, set a timer for 2 minutes, and as soon as the timer starts, start writing a new idea on each one of those sticky notes and write as many as you can until that timer goes off. Once that timer goes off, you now have dozens of ideas that you're going to stick up on the wall or stick up on a board, and you can start now to organize those ideas together. Figure out which is going to be the best way for you to either provide that new product or service or come up with a solution to a problem that you're facing. But that's one of the easiest ways to do it. And the more people you have doing that with you, the more ideas you're going to have on those sticky notes that you're going to come up with a new solution and a new way of thinking about the problem that you're facing.
Yeah, that takes us to a key to this whole process. Something that we hear a lot about these days is having diversity in the group that you're working with. The more diverse the people in the group, the more diverse the thinking, the more diverse their background and knowledge, the more diversity you're going to have in your ideas. And it's also important to make sure that everybody that's participating in this process understands that there's no such thing as a dumb idea.
No.
You just throw the ideas out there to begin with, and then you can sort through it later on and figure out what's good, what works. As a matter of fact, one of the ways you could even start your sessions that we talk about in our speech is start by playing a little game where you try to come up with the absolute worst possible idea. That way you're starting with that lowest denominator, and then nothing else after that can be any worse than that. So just throw your ideas out there and see what you come up with. Because sometimes ideas that may, when you first come up with it, seem silly, might actually have a seed of, a plant that will grow into what it is that you need to do.
Yeah, and when it comes to the brainstorming sessions that you can have, just start bouncing ideas off of each other and adding to them. If any of you have ever taken part in an improv class, one of the techniques they tell you to do is the yes and technique. So somebody comes up with an idea and you say yes and you add to it. And keep that up, because you're going to start coming up with plenty of ideas for how to solve a problem or how to come up with a solution for a new product or service that you're going to need for your business.
And I agree with you. So I'm going to say, yes, I agree with you. And I'm going to ask Wendy in just a moment if she'll step up and share what's going through her mind. So yes, we agree with you. I love the idea solution. Thanks for giving us a very specific techniques. And I'm a slow learner, but I get there. I went to DC public schools. Wendy is going to share an idea or share what's going on in her mind right now. So Wendy, as you're listening to Michelle and Jim speak over there, what's going through your mind?
Well, it's awesome, especially if you're talking about business and relationship solutions, because it's always good to hear the other person's perspective, because when you get their perspective, you really know how to respond to them. My husband and I just celebrated our 30th anniversary last month, and we kept saying to each other, like, wow, 30 years doesn't even seem like it. And then one thing I have to say is, I love them, but I still like them. And after 30 years, I still like them, So we were laughing about that because we still have fun. And, we have gone, we haven't had, it's been not smooth ride, but we've had a good relationship because it hasn't been our first experiment.
And last.
So it's good. It's good. So I've enjoyed all the input from everybody because I can attest to, I've kind of been there, done that, and I know where you're coming from.
I love it. I love it. Thanks. I'm going to come over. We're coming to Kalisha after we finish with Michelle and Jim after they finish. Don't worry. Then we've got Jonathan is in the queue. Can't wait to get over to Jonathan. And Wendy, I know you're going to bring it down the home stretch. But Michelle, we're talking about MillionairePowerCouple.com, and it's a summit, MillionairePowerCouple.com. If you're hearing it for the first time, just open up a browser. You can do that. Don't close our browser. Open up a browser, and then type in MillionairePowerCouple.com. Now, once you get there, just follow the instructions. Just follow the instructions. I promise you. But I'm going to ask them, like I've asked almost everybody, I hope, what's one of the reasons why you decided to be a part of the Millionaire Power Couple Summit? You could spend time working on your own business. You could spend time coming with more ideas. You could do that, certainly. But no, you're here now. Why?
One of the things that we firmly believe in that our friend and mentor, John Maxwell, tells us is to be a river, not a reservoir. So don't hold on to that information that you have. Don't keep it to yourself. Share.
Put it out there.
The more people that you can share with, the better. The reality is, the better the world's going to be. We're all in this great big world together. And if we want to make this a better place, then we need to share what's working with other people around us. We need to share our good ideas with other people around us, and holding it in and keeping it to yourself isn't going to help the other people who are out there. So being that river and letting people benefit from what our experiences have been and what we have learned has always been one of the things that we've been trying to do.
Yeah, it's an opportunity for us to reach a broader audience, to help more people. And the thing that I'm always interested in, and you wonder where she gets the improv stuff from, because I'm a practicing improv and stand-up comedian, is having fun, because I love to have fun. So if you tune into our presentation, you're going to laugh, I guarantee it.
You're going to have fun. I'm not going to put you on the spot and say, tell us a joke. I'm not going to put you on the spot. I'm not going to do that. No, I'm joking with you. I'm not going to do that. But I love that. Oh, my gosh. Improv. That is like amazing. Okay, Dr. Sakisha, Eric Heilich, if you would, take a minute or two and tell us what's one of the reasons why you decided to have Michelle and Jim as part of the Millionaire Power Couple. It's a summit that's together to help not only couples gain more power, but couples serve more folks, because when you serve more folks, then it comes back to you. So why did you decide to include Michelle and Jim Teague in this particular summit? And that's to you, Eric. And
Muted, baby.
Yeah, that's you, baby. You baby. No, you. I mean, y'all figure it out. You know by now what's going to happen. Yeah.
Put my glasses on. But one of the things that we really love and what resonated with Jim and Michelle is just they're out of the box thinkers, and they have a totally different level of creativity. Because when you're looking for a summit, that we're going to be connecting with people on different levels at different walks of life, different stages in their marriage and in their business, and you want to bring people into the summit on the platform that are also going to be creative and outside of the box thinkers, and just going to bring a different perspective. So that's one of the things that we really, really liked about Jim and Michelle when we connected with them.
Good.
Now, also too, it's a common denominator, and that is John Maxwell, because we are also John Maxwell certified, and we know the caliber of people that are in the John Maxwell. And so right there, I mean, that's family.
Well, good. I feel
But
like
yeah,
family now too. Can I be part of the family? Can we do a big group hug or something? Should we all take our hands and do like this and say, we're gonna sing Kumbaya? No, in all seriousness, it is very serious. I feel the love. You all have a heart to give. You have a heart to serve, and it's an honor and a privilege to be on the other side to be able to hang out with you. So thank you so much, Michelle. We certainly appreciate it, and Jim as well. Okay, we're gonna go over to the one and only Kalisha. So Kalisha, take a moment, share with them your full name, and of course, share where you're broadcasting in from.
Hi, everyone. My name is Kalisha Worrell. Super excited to be here with you today. I'm broadcasting from Houston, Texas.
Houston, Texas is in the building. That's how you're supposed to do it.
In the building. Where you going?
Yeah, in the building. All right. So you know the drill. Take a moment, if you would, and just share, if you would, your keynote topic. And what problem, and that's the most important part. You're home right now, you're listening. The whole summit that's together is to help not only solve a problem, but to help us all get better. And isn't that what we want to be able to do? So yeah, they're going to inspire you, they're going to empower you, but they give you the tools, they give you the techniques, and they give you the strategy that you can implement. And that's very, very important. So for some of you, it's just about believing. I get it. And some of you don't need to believe no more. You got to take some action. And that's what it's all about. So, Kalisha, what's your topic, your keynote topic? And then secondly, what problem does it solve?
Absolutely. So my topic is how to hold the vision in your relationship. I'm Les Brown certified, and I believe you got to be hungry, okay? If you're in a relationship, the problem that's going to solve by holding the vision is not being distracted. Everything else is a distraction. You think you have financial issues. Finances are not the issue. The issue is not having the vision. If you don't have the vision, you don't have the awareness of who you are. So you think you're fighting over finances when if you knew who you were, you would spend your finances differently. You think you're having a communication problem, but it's just because you don't know how to communicate with yourself. And when you learn how to communicate with yourself and hold the vision that God gave you, you know how to communicate with the other person, because wherever we go, there will be. And I need to be able to communicate with myself first, before I serve and contribute to others' lives. So what I'm going to be talking to you about is how to be able to hold that vision, how to be able to build a solid foundation for your relationship. Are you building on rock or are you building on sand? These things are all important when you come to one point, and that one point for you, for your spouse, is holding that vision. If you wake up the next day and the next person really doesn't know who they are, that's because they started out with an awareness of who they are. That's not what you want to do in your relationship, is waking up to someone you have no clue who they are. So we're going to pull that full circle together, hold that vision. I'm holding that vision for you, and I believe in your relationships in your marriage.
So can you take a moment for those folks that are hearing you, meet you for the very first time? Can we slow down, then we'll speed up, but can you take a moment and tell us maybe about a time where you had to define the vision yourself and what that process was like? If you don't mind sharing with the folks that are listening right now.
Absolutely. I've had to hold the vision, and I lost the vision. I had to regain that vision again. I was in about a 11-year relationship on and off, so which did not turn into marriage, right? So you can just imagine how much of the vision was lost there, right? So to be able to hold that vision, I had to regain notice of who I was. And when I became self-aware of that, when I connected with the people who could hold that vision for me until I gained that belief in myself, it was all resistant. Everything that I saw was resistant. The communication, the finances, the dream. There was no dream because there was no vision. So what I did, I connected to the people who can hold that vision for me. I worked on myself each and every day. I set goals to where I can meet and reach those goals, surpass them, and set new goals for myself. Because there's one thing in a relationship, and that the most important thing is to be able to grow, because if you're not growing, you're dying. And when you're together, sometimes it feels like it's coming mashed together. Both of you are being mashed together when in reality, you're actually two separate individuals. So you have to hold the dreams and the vision for yourself, and that other person has to do the same. Don't look to each other for happiness, because you're not there to make each other happy. You're there to be fulfilled within yourselves, and that makes each other happy. Think about when you first met each other. You were the happiest individually. That's what brought you together, not because you were looking towards one another to make each other happy. So just coming again with holding the vision, being able to know who you are. If you're single, then this is the time to work on yourself. You've got to be that person that you want to be with. Okay? Be that person you want to be with, because you're going to end up with.
I love that. I love that. Have the vision for yourself and be the person that you need to be. I'm going to jump over. I'm coming right back to you, so don't go nowhere. We know you got another idea on holding the vision and stepping into your greatness, and we want to hear that. But I want to go over to, Dexter and Tanya, who are sitting there right now, and she talked about being vulnerable and saying, look, I had to step back and have the vision for myself and work on that vision first. Tanya or Dexter, what's going through your mind, that whole process?
Wow, it's one of the principles that we're going to talk about is for better or worse. Tanya and I, we're a blended family, right? We're a family of 4, and we came together with different experiences. And I like what the other couple talked about, neurosciences. Tanya and I do a lot of mindset development training, and I brought who I was to this marriage, having dealt with infidelity in my previous marriage. And Tanya brought who she was to her marriage, having lost her husband to brain cancer. And we both brought our daughter. So when we came together, we had to both look at ourselves, that mirror that the couple talked about. It's like, am I treating her the way she needs to be treated? That's what comes to my mind, because the young lady just nailed it on the head. We've got to be whole people coming together, and that's what's going to upgrade the marriage. But if we're not whole, then we're bringing issues into a marriage.
Tanya, we want to hear a woman's perspective. Now we heard one side of the story. My wife always says I got a different story. So let's see what you got to say.
I'm digesting, but even as I listened to my sister speak, I looked at Dexter. She said something. I said, "You were growing. I was dying." That's what I said. And he looked. He said, "I said that's what was going on." That, yeah. And I mentioned that. So when you asked, I'm like, well, as I'm listening to her, I'm like, she's exactly right. And it's kind of like being unequally yoked, if you will, in some respects, But what do I think? How do I feel about it? And even to what my husband just described with what we talk about for better, for worse, but I'll just even say it in this way. And I would tell him, he married a people pleaser, and that's not him at all. So it was this clashing, that was just happening and going on, which when you heard me say earlier, all of these things work together, even with everything that we're talking about right now. Let me say this is really incredible that we're all here together, even like this on tonight. And I'm listening and we're talking. I'm looking at the other couples, my sister now, her head nodding right here, the Leafs. And I'm like, that's what I'm saying. Everybody is like, yeah, that's it. Yeah. But it may not be what they said. And all I can think about is just even in the word of God, we're one body. It's a body, but everybody has a part. So even in all of these things, everybody brings something to the table. And this is how you learn and how you grow. Right now, iron is sharpening iron, and it's helping all of us. Even though we have strong marriages, it's still helping all of us to grow even the more. So yes, as I listen to her, I'm like, she's exactly right. We talk about it. You bring yourself to the altar. And you'll probably hear us say it even again, but I'm like, you said I do to this. So when we talk about for better, for worse, see, a lot of times we don't think about it, but I'm like, when you said I do, he said I do to a people pleaser. He said I do to low self-esteem. He said I do to someone who didn't have confidence in herself. So now what you're going to do? Leave her? This is my covering. And this is how we have to grow together. And it's work. It's work, but it's a response. It's a covenant.
Yeah, it's a covenant. It's work, said so well. Thank you for sharing those thoughts. We're going to go back over to Kalisha. And as you're speaking now, and I'm listening to Dexter and Tanya, and listening to what you had earlier, I'm wondering, and somebody might be wondering as well, what is an idea that Kalisha has to help me maybe break through maybe one of these past barriers that I have, right? Because a lot of stuff that I heard was in the past. So if I'm going to break through, and Dexter and Tanya were talking about brain work and stuff they do, and it might be an unfair question to you, Kalisha, but you can handle this. But what's one idea you have for someone to kind of break through the past barrier so they can live with passion and really achieve the greatness that they want? What goes through your mind? What's one idea?
Absolutely. So at first, I just want to say, whoever you're with their past, right? You're with them in this current moment with all their past, right? So we want to be able to get past all of that and to where you want to be. And where you want to be is living your dreams, living your goals played out. So one thing that you want to do is to be able to write your goals down, make them plain and clear, right? Write them down so you can see them. You have individual goals, you have goals as a one union. They need to be written down. And I know you said one, Shay, but the second one is go and live again. Go out and dream build. Don't think we can't afford this car. Go and drive that car. Don't think I can't afford this house. Go walk into that house you both want. You've got to make the vision clear, and you've got to start living it now. Not later, but now. So
live it now. You gave me two because it's 9 o'clock time. I love it. I love it. They said the best time to plant a tree was 10 years ago. The next best time is now for you to break through. Eric, Dr. Sakisha, you got Kalisha Worrell over there. She's talking about you got to break through these barriers. She's talking about you got to, what are you doing giving a high five? You can't give yourself a high five. You got to just smile. Yeah. I'm messing with you. But take a moment, if you would, and say, why Kalisha? Why now? Why part of the Millionaire Power Couple? And for those folks that are watching, and some of you have tuned in, some of you have been here, we appreciate it. Appreciate your time. Don't worry. We go to Jonathan and Camila. I hope I got that right. They'll be coming up. And then after them, we've got the one and only Wendy Labat who'll be coming up. And then they're going to do a special closing. So they're going to tell you what they do and how to connect with them. But they're also going to share 90 seconds or 2 minutes of their best ideas. They've got more. They've got something else, not only to inspire you and empower you, but it's going to help you when you leave this particular show. So hold on. Thank you for being here. If you haven't hit the share button, do me a favor. We believe in the giver's economy, right? The person that outgives the competition out-earns the competition. The person that outgives the competition out-earns the competition. So hit the button, share this, pay this message forward. You can do that. So if it's not for you, it may be for someone else. So don't hold it to yourself. Bring a couple friends along and let them tune in and hear this. Okay, Eric and Dr. Sakisha, we're going to come over to you. Why Kalisha? Why now?
Well, first of all, Shay, I just got to say this. Listening to Tanya and Dexter, and they you could tell there's a sync right there, because when you look at this team, and that's what it is. It's a team. It's kind of like the NBA going to the Olympics. You get the dream team. And this is the dream team. You get the expertise. You get the different experiences. You get the different perspectives, and you go and you pick and get the best of the best. And this is the best of the best. And so that is what she was saying is, we're having a session here. We're bringing expertise, but it's building up each and every one in this room, in this conference call. We're gleaning, we're growing. How they say, let's go, let's grow. And that's what we're doing. We're going and we're growing. And as we're growing, we're bringing value to ourselves. So now we can in turn bring value to the masses. And the masses needs it so much. That's why the statistics are going down, but we're gonna make that go back up. Hey Keisha, I'm not gonna steal the thunder, baby.
No, baby, you were so on point. Just one of the other things that stood out to me about Kalisha was she was talking about the importance of vision. Because it's really important to have a vision for your relationship. It's important to have a vision for anything that you want to accomplish. If you want to build a successful business, you've got to have a vision for it. If you want to build generational wealth for your family, you've got to have a vision for it. And if you want a strong, healthy marriage, you're going to have a vision. So when she's bringing that perspective of the importance of vision, for me, that really hit home. And that's something that I felt, that's going to really, really resonate and connect with a lot of the people that are listening, because that's a challenge that many couples are having, the lack of vision, or one person has one vision, the other one has another. So how do we bring the two together and get the two on the same page so that they can build together? So that was really one of the things that stood out about Kalisha.
Well, thanks so much. And I love you talked about the vision, and you and Eric had the vision for the Millionaire Power Couple. And what I admire most about that summit is one of our 12 rules for life. We've got 12 rules, but one of our 12 rules for life is that collaboration crushes competition. Collaboration crushes competition. And they're all here collaborating for one purpose and one purpose only, and that is to serve and help everyone that's watching be better so they can help more folks. So that says so much for every single one of you and all of the experts that are here. And you at home that's watching right now, or we're in your ears right now, or maybe you're at the gym or driving down the road and you're listening. One thing we know is that you have the potential inside of you to perform at a much higher level than whatever level you're performing at right now. Not only do you have the potential to do that, but you will do something about it. That's why you're here right now. So thank you for tuning in. The best is still yet to come. Don't worry. The best is still yet to come. Coming up next, we have the one and only, well, not the one and only couple, but we have Jonathan and Camille. Did I get that right?
Camille
with an E.
You got it.
Camille. I'm going to get it. Camille.
Yeah.
So take a moment and tell us your full name, obviously, and where you're broadcasting in from. You know the deal by now.
I know the deal by now. My name is Jonathan.
And I'm Camille.
And we're broadcasting from Moorestown, New Jersey. If you don't know where Moorestown is, we're about 25 minutes outside of Philadelphia. So we're in southern Jersey, the new New Jersey.
The new New Jersey. All right. I hear you. They say that with pride. I love that. So take a moment, tell us your topic, and what problem does this topic solve?
Well, I'm talking about something that we all experience, whether we want to admit it or not, is failure. I want to talk about how to failure-proof your blank. Now, you fill in the blank: marriage, business, your health, how to failure-proof your life. I talk about failure from the standpoint that failure is something that's common to all of us. But if you look at failure as a teacher, then you'll be able to sort of embrace failure instead of running away from it. And I want to talk about it from a perspective of there's research behind failure. And I challenge one of the greatest myths that's out there. And that myth is that you can learn a lot more from your failure than you can your success. Now, I'm in doctoral program as well. I do consulting. And I came across an article, a research study done by two professors at the University of Chicago, and they challenged the myth that by failure you can learn more. They said that's true if you do one thing, if you learn to embrace the shame associated with failure. See, a lot of times when we fail, we don't want to go back and figure out why we failed. We don't want to deal with that anymore. We want to kind of put it in the past. But the research shows that when you fail to go back and embrace the shame, because you got to look at shame to figure out why you failed. When you embrace that shame and get past it, then you can get to the nuts and bolts of what you did wrong, and you'll begin to learn from that. So one of the keys is you can learn from your failure if you deal with the shame associated with it. And a lot of us don't want to deal with that. So that's one of the things I address in the topic, how to failure-proof your life or your blank.
I love that. And Camille, as you're listening, I can hear Tanya over there saying, what does she got to say? We heard Jonathan's view of the world, right? He got this view of the world. There's been some study that we got all buy into, and I love that idea. I love the concept, and it's very serious work. But they're looking and saying, wow, I wonder what she's thinking. I wonder if she's talking over there. I wonder what she's thinking. So what's your view of the world?
I would say I'm definitely in agreement with what my husband just said, because when we fail, if we don't look at it, if we don't examine, if we don't admit what our part was. So there is this failure that happened. What was my part in it? What did I do wrong? It's very easy to say, well, you did this and you did that and you're that, and we're looking at the other person and saying everything the other person did, but what did I do? It's kind of what Tanya said. I love what you're talking about, communication, taking that personal responsibility. So looking at my failure and say, okay, I had this area, I messed up, I made a mistake. So I'm owning my part of it. I own what I did that was wrong in that situation. And then I can grow from it. Then I can learn. Then I can become what I need to be for the next situation, because I've taken that time to do the self-examination. And that's a lot of times where we fall down, is we don't do the self-examination. We say, okay, that happened, get up, move on. But we don't look at what happened, so we don't learn from it.
I love that said so well. Jonathan, what are you thinking?
Well, one of the things that my late pastor Otis Lockett used to say, failure isn't final until you finally fail. So as long as there's breath in your lungs, when you hit a setback, it could be a setup for your comeback. That sounds familiar, right, Jay? But I believe that failure is a part of our life. Benjamin Franklin was noted by saying this: I didn't find 999 ways that didn't work. I found 999 ways that I could do it better. And that one success made all the failure worth it. So I'm saying use failure as a sort of a path to your success. Figure out what you did wrong, and then you can kind of learn to use that to teach you. And that's one of the things I talk about in my session. I give you some tools, practical steps to do that.
No, I love that. And folks that are listening right now might be, as they tune in, they might be wondering as well, saying, wow, I love that. Was there ever a time, and maybe it wasn't, it's a fair question, that you found yourself in that situation, and what did you learn from the lesson that you had to go through? Do you mind sharing a time where that might have happened in your life at any point in time?
Oh, yeah. My wife and I, we started a church. 5 years into that church, we had a church split. Now, for those of you that don't know what a church split is, basically it is what it sounds like. The church splits. Half people left. We lost 50% of our income in less than a week's time. And so we had to regroup. We had to say, what are we going to do? And I had to stay focused enough to know that God had called me to do something, and I had to persevere through it. Here's one lesson, one takeaway that I learned. My failure was not me. See, I had to separate what happened to me from who I was. See, a lot of folks can't separate the two, but what happened to me is not who I was. Once I figured that out, boy, and now we're moving, we're cooking with hot grease, as they say. But you are not your failure. What happened to you was an event. Don't stay there. Don't associate with it. Learn what you can and keep moving.
Learn what you can and keep moving. For Oscar and Tamika, who are over there listening right now, what's going through your mind?
Well, actually, he's right on it, man. I'm from Louisiana, so this is just like a good gumbo that y'all just mixing together really, really good. Because I mean, it's so true. The thing is again, it's so on point, because many times if we won't even bring back to that consciousness of that former mistake, it'll keep us from going to the future. Right. Because we can't even be we can't even be present enough. Because we remember the mistake or the failure, but if we don't go back and bring it to conscious, we like, I'm gonna shut it down. I'm not even gonna deal with it.
Absolutely, I agree with you, because whatever you focus on, that becomes magnified.
Preach.
So if you focus on your failure, then it's gonna become big to you. But I love the fact that you said that keep it moving, because at some point we fail in communication. At some point we fail in finances. But we don't fail in sex.
All right now. All right.
We're gonna take that one out. Shay, can you take that out, Shay?
I'm with you over there. I'm taking notes. I'm with you over there. I'm listening. I'm saying, okay, I like that. Just get better and better. I done lost control, ladies and gentlemen. This is live. We're just here hanging out, and they're speaking from the heart. It's so true and so real. Jonathan, what's one more idea? You said the failure part. And I was asked the same question, but I'm curious, what's one more idea that you would give to the person that's listening, is watching? They're like, wow, millionaire power couple. I like to be a millionaire power couple, whatever that means. It means different things to different folks. But when you hear that, two-part question, which you can handle. What's one of the reasons you decided to be a part of the Millionaire Power Couple.com summit? And number two, what's another idea that someone could use to be part of the Millionaire Power Couple success?
Well, the first question, or the answer to the first question, is I was asked. And so I said, hey, I'm taking the Shonda Rhimes approach. She said for a whole year, she said yes to everything that came across her desk. So I'm like, look, I'm trying to get myself and the message that I have out there. So I said yes. The second thing is this. You've got to see yourself as a business. See yourself with a board of directors. So 7 people that you need on your team. You need a coach. You need a counselor. You need a critic. You need a challenger. You need a champion. You need a confidant. And you need a clergy. I tell you how to assemble this team to help you. These 7 people can change your life, and they allow you to be vulnerable, but they also help you become who you are. Proverbs 25, verse 2, it says, it's the glory of God to conceal a matter, but it's the glory of a king to search out that matter. Get those people around you. There's some kings that need to be a part of your court so that you can become all that you were created to be.
I love it. Success indeed is a team sport. You can only get so far by yourself. Said so well. Okay, with that being said, Eric, Dr. Sakisha, same question. Yeah. Why this topic? Why now?
Well, that's really part of our passion. We've been working with couples for over 16 years in ministry, and probably about 6 years now in a business. And so we looked at it, as a business. We got some couples out there that are looking to go into business. One is in business, one is in corporate America, or maybe both of them are entrepreneurs, but they have their own business. And then you have that third scenario where they're both in business together and they both have the same business. And so, but that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to make an impact. We've been serving for all of our lives, and so that has been a passion. And if we can serve and help others to prevent those issues that we went through, it took us maybe 3 or 4 tries to get it right in business or to get the communication aspect. And then if we can help avoid other couples to avoid that 3 or 4 times, maybe get it right on the second try, then I think we've accomplished something. Keisha?
I mean, honey, you hit the nail on the head. It's time to just continue to serve and sow and show up and be there, be the change that we wanted to see in our relationship. We went through so many challenges, be it in communication and finances and sex and having failed businesses, but being given and afforded the opportunity to press the restart button, to start all over again, and to be able to connect and collaborate with others that were willing to pour into us so that we could get back on track and go to our next level. It was on the inside of us. We've got to do the same for other couples. So that couple out there that's struggling in their marriage, that couple that's struggling in their business, that couple that's struggling in their finances, they need that help. And some of them are too afraid to raise their hand. We went through those phases. We didn't want anybody to know what we were going through, but we wanted them to say, there's a safe haven. There's a spot that's created for you to be able to come in so that we can pour into you to help you build that solid marriage, to help you build that successful business, to help you build generational wealth so you're not living paycheck to paycheck. So that was one of the reasons why.
Real quick, Shay, too. Also, I think you left out also a prominent piece of this dream team, which is yourself, Shay. Shay, you are also a keynoter on this Millionaire Power Couple Summit, which is tomorrow, or actually, shall I say, today. It actually is Wednesday. So in actually about 11 hours, the Millionaire Power Couple Summit will begin, and you will get a chance to get a hold of all of these great nuggets of this great dream team. And Shay Brown is part of that dream team. Shay, tell us just a little bit about your keynote into this, because we need to hear.
It is definitely an honor and a privilege. I will talk about that. I will share it. I promise you. But I want to get to Wendy first. I'm going to get to Wendy first. Let me get to Wendy because Wendy's in the queue.
That's right.
And Wendy couldn't wait. And Wendy's fired up. And Wendy can't wait to tell us where she's from. But in all seriousness, I'll be there. It's an honor. I'm happy to be a part of this whole team and play a role in making sure that folks out there can get the resources they need. So thank you so much. Wendy, you're there. You've been listening. You've been going back and forth. You've been pacing, getting your thoughts together. I know they were already together, getting ready. And now it's that moment in time. So take a moment, if you would, and tell us your full name. Tell us where you're broadcasting in from, and of course, where you're from, obviously, where you're from.
All right, now I'm really enjoying this, group right now. I can't wait for the summit. But I'm Dr. Wendy Labat. I'm also known as the Financial Healer, and currently I am broadcasting from San Diego, California, but I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. So I'm on Pacific time, and it's a little earlier here, but my body is saying it's still Eastern time.
That's okay. Atlanta is still in the building. You're still in the building. You're in San Diego, beautiful area. Take a moment, if you would. You talk about something that's very important, which is finance, right? It's very, very important. But tell us about your keynote and what problem does it solve?
Well, my keynote is talking about optimizing your financial health. And there's a lot of focus on, mental health and physical health, but very little emphasis on financial health. And then people conflate and confuse financial literacy with financial health. But the problem with that is you can be financially literate and still have poor and sometimes terminal financial health. Folks are suffering from anorexic income, mindset and knowledge deficiency, overweight expenses, obese debt, spending addiction, and other financial ills. So it's important that you get those finances together in order to do anything, whether it's as a single person or a part of a married couple, because, the financial health can, exacerbate your physical and mental health if you don't keep it in check.
Yeah, and I'm curious, Wendy, folks have heard about making sure their finances are together for a long time. They always say marriage, ends for a couple of reasons, finances and pressure. What's one of the reasons people struggle with just doing something that they may already know to do, but they just don't do it? What's the challenge that they have with making that a reality, first for themselves and then as a couple?
Well, the challenge is the mindset. You have to change the way you look at things in order for things to change. Because, if you say I can't afford this, then you can't. But if you say how can I afford it, then you can. You'll think outside the box to find ways. And then you got to have some basic knowledge. You don't have to have a doctorate degree, but you do have to know some basic, financial principles. You got to understand your debt, your income, your expenses, and more importantly, the spending. That's the area where people just, they say, okay, I know my expenses, I know my income, but they don't even look at what they're spending. And that's where the golden pot of gold is, because that's where you can pull that money to be able to afford the things that you want to. You just have to redirect your spending from, sometimes poor spending habits.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Share if you could, and I know you go through the whole financial piece, but share if you could just one more idea. If a person is listening right now and said, gosh, I got to track my spending, hate doing that. I can tell you how many apps I have, by the way. It's embarrassed to tell you myself. But what idea or suggestion we have, at least for a couple? You've been married, I think you said, for 30 or 35 years?
30 years. Yes.
Happily married for 30 plus years.
Yes, very much so. Like I said, I still like my husband after 30 years.
So let's.
But I would say.
So let's break it to two parts. One, to speak to the married couples that are out there and say, hey, here's one idea that you would share for them, and then for the other person to saying, hey, they're going to be in a relationship, but they can apply maybe a different type of principle. Speak to the two if you can.
Okay, well, one, like I said, you have to have the mindset, and, several of the couples talked about the vision. You have to have an idea of where you want to go or where you want to be, but first you have to know where you are. And, finances, you have to have discipline. And I talked about the spending addiction, but you have to have discipline to be able to, and I tell my clients, ask yourself before you buy this or do this or invest in that, is it what you want more or what you want now? If you got a goal and you're trying to reach it, if you decide, okay, I'm going to spend $200 on some shoes, is that something that will impede your goal? Is it something you want more? Is it just something you want now? And I know that's kind of simplistic, but, you find if you get in that mindset of asking yourself that, you'll be surprised at, how your decision making changes. You'll realize that, I really don't have to have that. Or if I want it, can I get it for, less than retail? So, those are the things. You got to have the mindset, you got to have some knowledge, and you got to have the discipline. And then another thing is you got to take action. A lot of people have the mindset, they have the goals or the hope. But in the faith, but faith without works is dead. So you have to have a plan, and you have to implement that plan.
It's said so well, Dr. Wendy Labat. For those folks that are listening right now, you're talking about a summit coming up tomorrow or the next day or whenever. Go to the website. I don't know when it's going to happen, okay? Just go to millionairepowercouple.com. Depends on when you see this. Depends on what time. I don't know. I know one thing. Media never sleeps. So you go over right now to millionairepowercouple.com. You look. Then you follow the directions. You can do that. We're talking to Dr. Wendy Labat right now. She's in San Diego. She's on vacation. I'm curious why she's stopping her time right now to be connected with all of us right now. It takes energy. It takes effort. It's one thing to be when you're home and relaxed like I am right now and you're set. It's another thing when you're on the road and you got to make adjustments, and there's a lot of moving parts to go on for them to be here. And every one of these folks that are all these experts have made some sacrifice. They're taking time away from their family right now, time away from their hobby, time away from their business. Trust me, there's something else they could be doing right now other than being right here. And they're here now, and they're present, and they're giving 100% effort. So, Wendy, why did you decide to stop and be a part of the MillionairePowerCouple.com, the summit, and do it right now while you could be out relaxing, enjoying San Diego weather?
Well, I'm here on business till Friday. Saturday's my birthday. Then I'll be on vacation for a couple of days, doing a little me time.
Okay, then I won't call you while you're on your birthday time. Okay, I noted.
But now you can call me. It's my me time, and you always got privileges, so you can call me anytime.
Thank you.
But it's important. I'm on a crusade, and those that know my story, I'm a breast cancer conqueror. And because I came out better on the other side of that journey, God called me to be on a crusade. So I have to be obedient because, he really worked things out for me, not just with my health, but with my finances. So he told me, you got to get out of that comfort zone. Because I said, okay, God, I'm happy, I'm healthy, I'm wealthy, and I'm in my comfort zone. I'm good. And he's like, nah. I just brought you out better than, you went in so you can empower other people. So that's why I'm here. I'm trying to empower people, especially couples, because finances can be an issue and it doesn't have to be. My husband and I have been married 30 years and we haven't always had money, but money's never been an issue for us. We never argued about money. There's time we didn't have any money, but we would go window shopping and dreaming and saying, this is what we're going to get. And now, we can get whatever we want, but you have to, just like I said, be together, be on one accord, understand that, it's your money together, even though, you may have yours and he may have his, but you have to have ours. So it's a joint thing. And like I said, just work together. Don't let money be a factor in the marriage, a negative factor, I should say, because God will provide. And if you need something and want something and you think right, speak right, and do right, things will flow right to optimize your financial health.
There she goes with the triple alliteration. She's just getting started, ladies and gentlemen. Don't let her fool you. She's like Novocaine. Give her a little time, and she going to work, okay? I promise you she's going to work. Dr. Wendy Labat, you're incredible. I love it. It's easy to do, but it's easy not to do. But if you do it now, I promise you, do what Dr. Wendy Labat is saying, and it will change your life. With that being said, I'm going to go to Eric and Dr. Sakisha Heilig. Dr. Wendy Labat is here. She's sharing her words of wisdom. One of the cornerstones, finances, one of the cornerstones of any relationship or any personal development. Why Dr. Wendy Labat, as I've asked each person, and why now? Over to you.
Dr. Wendy, she's an amazing person. She has a wonderful heart, a passion for serving others, a passion when it comes to finances. I've watched her commitment over, I'd say we've known each other for about a year now. And just watching her level of commitment and dedication to helping others, to constantly show up and serve and to help others get on the right path when it comes to their finances. And, just listening to her talk to people and say, look, you need to make sure that when you're dealing with someone that might have a question about their finances, that they're actually doing a deep dive and finding out and preparing you to succeed in your finances. It's very easy to connect with someone that's going to help you with your finances and say, do X, Y, and then be done with it. But she's going to actually do a deep dive and say, have you considered this? Have you considered that? Are you prepared to do this? She really does a deep dive. And I've listened to her, when she's having conversations and just hearing her passion and level of commitment. I knew that was going to be an amazing aspect of this, helping couples when we're talking about building generational wealth. And she helps you do that. And she's an amazing businesswoman as well. So she will sit there and she pours into others alike on a constant basis. So for me, that was the game changer.
Yes, also with Dr. Wendy is, and this is something that is important too when you're doing financial advisement, is that you use your own products. And Dr. Wendy uses her own products, and she can share. She's used them, and she can share with others. By experiencing and also the knowledge and the training on the educating piece. And the thing is that she's just an awesome person, a person, not even in the business aspect. We're just talking about a person who has the love of God through her, and she loves to share and educate and impact others. And so it's just, you're just drawn to Dr. Wendy. But yes, she is an awesome businesswoman. She's also a TV producer, and we share with her on the same network, and you can just tell that she's just an awesome person, business wise, character, and very smart. I tell you, you just got to have her on the team.
Well, one of the things I'm happy is that not only do you just have a team, anybody can have a team, but you have a winning team, right? You have a winning team. You can be on any team these days. You can pick any team, be on a team, but it's not about being on a team. I like what you've done at MillionairePowerCouple.com is you put the winning team together. You put the championship team together. You put the repeat champions. One thing to win one championship, but they go back to a second and a third and the fourth. That's the team I want to be in, the folks that are going into the Hall of Fame. And that's who you have right here. These individuals, they're going into the Hall of Fame. I don't have to predict it. I know it to be true because that's the consistency they bring to the table. Consistency is the key. Consistency is the key. Consistency is the key. And having said that, what's most important, they would probably all agree. Consistency in the time that I have. So what I'd like to do right now, if we can, we're going to go back around, and they're going to have 2 minutes. They're going to take about 15 seconds to tell you what line of business they're in and how to connect with them. So you at home, we can go in the order we started. So we'll start with Tanya and Dexter. And as they're telling you, make sure you connect. Make sure you connect with every single one of them. And here's the cool part. They'll probably follow you back. Like, isn't that kind of cool? Like, you get to follow them and they get to follow you. You can see them, but they can't see you. They have no idea who you are. So it's an open communication. And isn't that what it's all about at the end of the day? Isn't that what it's all about? That's what it's all about. So they're going to tell you what line of business they're in. They're going to share with you how to connect with you. And then they're going to share just their closing comments. Now, it's something for you to take away with, something to encourage you, something to inspire you. Like, Shay, golly, look, they can't give you everything they have in the 5, 10, 15 minutes, whatever they have. They can't give you everything. They've got more. Come over to MillionairePowerCouple.com. You can get more. But as you sit there right now, get a paper, get a pen, get your iPad, get your phone, and take notes and get one more idea. Because how many ideas do you really need to change your life? One. One good idea implemented is better than 1,000 ideas you know right now. And they probably dropped at least 100 plus golden nuggets right now at this moment. And you get a lifetime benefit. So with that being said, let's go back around the way we started with the one and only Dexter and Tanya Scott. They're going to come up. They're looking clear now. They're happy now. The light's back. They feel like, yeah, I feel like I'm on camera now. They used to this. This is just what they do, ladies and gentlemen. It's what they do. So Taylor, thank you so much for being on the Happy Entrepreneur Show. Thank you so much, Dexter and Tanya Scott, more importantly, for giving of your time. You got folks in the other room right now. They shared that with us earlier. They got to be quiet because they're in here doing what they're doing, but they're making it happen. So they're going to tell you what line of business they're in, how to connect with them, And in the remaining 90 seconds they have, they'll share their closing comments. Now, it's 90 seconds. Now, y'all all hear me at the audience. And I know I can hear you at home. You like the less more than 90 seconds. I get it. So it's 2 minutes total or less. You like the less? Don't worry. I'm letting them know you like less more than the full 2 minutes. I get it. All right. They heard me say that. All right. So Dexter and Tanya Scott, over to you. Thanks a lot. We appreciate you. You're amazing. You're incredible. And for you, I know the best is still yet to come.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much, Shay. So listen, Tanya and I, we own a personal development company called The Upgraders. We're mindset development experts. We love helping people just change that subconscious mind. We have our website is championschallenges.com. We're the world's first challenge-based coaching and masterminding system. It's designed to push and pull you to your level of success. You can also find us at Dexter and Tanya Scott. We are the Upgraders on YouTube. And our social media handles is the Upgraders. And then you have Tanya Joyner Scott. And then you have Dexter L. Scott. Anything you want to share before we lock it up?
No, I think we did it. I think that was good. I just have to say this, though, even to my brother and sister, the Leafs. And I'm like, he just gave us the 7, is a number of completion, but he gave us the 7 C's to my board of directors. I said, I caught that. So that was good.
Look,
thank you for that.
Hey, look.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm gonna leave you with this. Henry David Thoreau said, when you advance confidently in the direction of your dream and you endeavor to live the life that you have imagined, you will meet with a success that is unexpected in common hours.
Woo! Common hours said so well. And Tanya, I can't let the ladies. I mean, you got to have something to say. The ladies they would get me. They'd be like, "Wait a minute, Dexter got to do all the talking." I know Tanya got something to say. So Tanya, give us at least a minute.
I heard with the last. I heard that, but this is what I would say. Actually, even with the quote, I'm like, go ahead and close us out with that. But I will say this, because my tagline and what many women come to me about is, and I tell them often, is exposure brings closure. So what it is that we also help you to do, we expose things. When we expose those things, you're able to advance confidently in the direction and meet success in common hours. Because of the exposure that's done, we remove yokes and bondages off of your life so you can advance confidently toward your dreams. Exposure brings closure.
Exposure can close. Thanks so much. We certainly appreciate it. Going over to Oscar and Tamika.
Hi, Shay. Thank you so much. So we are the owners of West Development Solutions, where we believe kingdom principles prepare, protect, and promote healthy relationships. We are so excited that we're talking to spouses, but again, we deal with hybrid training, to whereas we have online training. We do a 5-day online training called Loving Your Spouse, and it's a really, really hard website, so y'all make sure y'all write it down. It's lovingyourspouse.com. All right. So, but we also we work with corporations as well, because as we stated, we believe that marital relationship is the epitome, but it also matters even the way that we talk to our supervisor. Or since we have a lot of business people in here, it's not just about, again, signing that contract. But if you don't know how to manage your anger, if you don't know how to be a social, emotional person and handle yourself, God can promote you where your heart can't keep you. So what we want to do, leave with you, and I'm sure my wife want to say something too, is just being intentional. Being intentional. God has given us all a paradise. But a paradise like my lawn out there that's now cut, a little rainfall, if I don't go out there and cultivate it, it's going to be a problem. And if it's a problem for a long, long time, rodents don't know it's not supposed to be there. So finally, invest in you. There are 3 ways we learn. One, by experience. You've already been there, done that. The second way is reading. I don't like doing that too much. And the third way is to get with some people. So I challenge you, invest in you, go to the site and join us. We're here to serve you.
Absolutely. So go to lovingyourspouse.com.
No, not lovingyourspouse.com. We want to go to marriage.
We want to go to.
We want to go to their site, marriage. Well, what's that site?
They are
again?
currently
See,
communicating,
we-
ladies and
we-
gentlemen.
we-
You're
we-
watching
we-
real
we- we-
time
we-
a couple
we-
communicate.
well,
We're gonna just watch. This is kind of like, we're just watching. And we're gonna see how y'all work this thing out. I mean, we're just curious. All this talking. Now we get to watch real time. I mean, this should be fun. No, but it's millionairepowercouple.com. But the site you're giving now is a site for them to connect with you, by the way. They're like, okay, let's get out there. He drank some water. He's like, I need some water now. It's getting hot up in here. And, this is the couple. Y'all making that thing happen. All right, thank you so much. In all seriousness, we appreciate it. Going over to the one and only right outside of Pittsburgh, Michelle and Jim T. There you go. Put a big smile on your face. It's showtime. So tell us how we can connect with you. And more importantly, whatever your closing comments are, we thank you. We appreciate you, just like we did Tamika and Oscar. Over to you.
Sure. Thanks so much, Shay. We love being on your show. This is one of our favorite shows to be on. And we are super excited to be part of the Millionaire Power Couple Virtual Summit. You can find us on Facebook. Since you're on Facebook right now, streaming this and sharing this, find us on Facebook. We are at A Teague of Your Own. That is our page on there. Our company, we help you lead to succeed, communicate to elevate, and build teams to fulfill dreams. We do that through speaking, coaching, and training. We can help you and your team to overcome conflict. We can help you to be more productive, and we can help newly promoted leaders and newly hired leaders to get the skills they need to be successful on the job.
Yeah. And we can help you with coming up with those ideas and those ways that you can be more successful. And one of the things, nothing will stimulate that you're thinking more than laughter and having a good time. It's one of the keys to success to a good, healthy marriage, because that's one of the things that keeps us together. Robin Williams once said that we're all given a tiny spark of madness. We must not let that go out. That spark, that's what turns into the fire that ignites a marriage, a fire that ignites the ideas, and a fire that can ignite your life.
So go out there and spark that fire.
That's right.
Spark that fire. Thanks so much. We appreciate you being on a Happy Entrepreneur Show and participating in millionairepowercouple.com. Make sure you go over there. If you've been there, go back. If you haven't, taken the link and share it with someone else, so you don't just show up by yourself, but bring some other folks with you. You can share this. All right, going over now, I believe next to Kalisha. Kalisha, go ahead and share if you would. What line of business? What line of business are you in? And how can folks best connect with you, and your final thoughts? Thank you so much for being on the Happy Entrepreneur Show. We greatly appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Shay. I am a coach and a speaker as well. I'm really glad to be here with you today because I am here to help you to get clear. If you're that person that says, man, we've been working at this relationship for years upon years and it's just not working out. Or if you're that person that says, we love each other, we like each other, but we just feel like there's more that we can accomplish. There's more that we can, break through and start really living our lives the way we really want to live. Or if you're that person who may or may not be in a relationship, but that just says, I feel like I can expand myself to another level. I am here to help you to do that. I'm here to help you to get clear on your goals, clear on your dreams, the way you spend your finances, the way that you communicate, all draws back to holding the vision. What does your vision look like? Well, I can help you to know what that vision is and to be able to get clear on those goals and how to accomplish that vision. So thank you for having me here today. Super excited for your relationship. Give it a second look, because remember, if you're not growing together, then you're dying together. It's time to thrive. Give it a second look, and let's get clear on that vision. Thank you so much.
Give it a second look. Get clear on the vision. Thanks a lot. We certainly appreciate it. All the way from Houston, I believe it was, Texas. Okay, over to you, Jonathan and Kalima. Did I get that right? I hope I got it right. That's how I've been practicing.
Camille with the E.
Camille.
It's a long night. That's fine. Sweetheart, you go ahead and start.
Okay. Well, you're going to give the website
right,
and how
so,
they can get in touch with us?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
you reach out to us at jonathanleaf.com. We
Mm-hmm.
are a leadership development consulting company. We do educational consulting with diversity. My wife specializes in diversity. We help individuals and businesses succeed. We are DISC certified. So if you want to take your organization, take your team through an instrumented learning program so you can learn their behavioral tendencies, apply them to effectively leading in your teams, we can do that too. So we're available. And Camila?
Yeah, you can get in touch with us. We do human development, education consulting. We're authors, and you can see my husband's book where he goes into detail about those 7 people that you need in your life. You can purchase that at the website, and we're just here to help and serve. So feel free to reach out.
Yeah, so our closing thoughts are this. You cannot lead yourself by yourself. So get a team around you. Tiger Woods was asked, Tiger, why do you need a coach? He said, because I can't see my swing. So that's what we'll leave you with.
I love that. Thank you so much for being on the Happy Entrepreneur Show. I love it. We certainly appreciate you. Now we're going over to Dr. Wendy Labat before we'll come over to Eric and Dr. Sakisha Holick. Dr. Wendy, thank you so much for being on the Happy Entrepreneur Show. It is always a pleasure. It's definitely an honor. I want to give it over to you to share how folks can connect with you and your closing thoughts and comments. Again, thanks a lot. And you're on mute right now, so you might have hit your mute button. But you're looking good. That smile is still there.
Okay.
All right, so you came on, then you went away for a second. I think you might hit it twice.
Yeah, okay. My mouse was doing some crazy stuff. But anyway, I'm Dr. Wendy Labat, the financial healer, and you can come to my website, thefinancialcures.com. Matter of fact, look out for my new show, Financial Cures with Dr. Wendy, that's going to air this winter, I think, on Zondra TV. I've got my second book of the Financial Cures series. The first one is the #1 new release bestseller, Diagnose Your Financial Health. This one is Optimize Your Financial Health, which is part of my program. Join me on my Facebook group, The Financial Cures. I provide daily inspiration and information to get your day started. And I'm on all the social media, Dr. Wendy Labat. But Instagram is dr.wendy.labat. That's Labat. And I'm going to leave you with my coin phrase. If you think right, speak right, and do right, things will flow right to help you optimize your financial health. So let's get that financial health optimized so you can enjoy financial freedom to live the life that you desire.
Thank you so much, Wendy. We certainly appreciate you being on the Happy Entrepreneur Show. Everyone is out there watching. We're going over to the founders, the visionaries for Millionaire Power Couples. You can go to millionairepowercouple.com, which is a summit. But go to millionairepowercouple.com. Once you get there, I always say just follow the instructions. That's the most important part. But do me a favor. At least go, make sure the website is working. So everyone just right now, if you can hear the sound of my voice, just type the website in, make sure it's working. Do that now, and then follow the instructions. Well, Eric, Dr. Sakisha Holick, it's been an honor and a privilege. We want to give it to you to close us out. You have the summit. It's coming up. You've got the power teams are here and so many more experts. I wish we could get everybody in, but so many more experts. So we're going to turn over you to let folks know how to connect with the Millionaire Power Couple Summit.com, millionairepowercouple.com, which is a summit, and then what they should expect, and then your final thoughts to close us out. Thanks a lot for having us on having us be a part of this particular program.
Well, thank you, Shay Brown. We really appreciate you. And yes, it is the millionairepowercouple.com. I say again, millionairepowercouple.com. Go over there and get registered now. Not only, and it's actually going to be starting in about less than 11 hours here on East Coast. At less than 11 hours is where we're going to have our first keynote speaker. Now, also, you definitely want to make sure you check in your email, because we have the after dark session, where we also have some some really top speakers that are coming in to also share some wisdom and knowledge. And you have the networking part. This is where you get to actually network with all these excellent speakers here, because they're going to be waiting. They're going to be in the waiting rooms waiting for you to come and connect with them. And you get 5 minutes to actually network with them, connect with them, and schedule time with them. But yes, we are just really extremely happy to be hosting this MillionairePowerCouple.com, the Millionaire Power Summit, because we are so passionate about helping to build a successful marriage, build successful and thriving businesses, and also to build and create generational wealth, not only for this current generation, but the future generations.
Yeah. And you can find us on all forms of social media under Marriage Can Win. Now, Instagram, that's going to be one of our fastest and our preferred method of contact. But you can find us under Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube under Marriage Can Win. And just remember, we're your marriage and relationship strategists. But one of our closing thoughts is just a reminder to couples out there that may be facing something, to that business owner that might be facing a challenge, to that couple or that individual that's struggling to build generational wealth. Just remember that sometimes good things fall apart so greater things can come together. So make sure you meet us and this group of dynamic speakers at the summit tomorrow. That's going to help equip you with the tools and strategies to take you to the next level. So just again, make sure you go to MillionairePowerCouple.com to secure your no-cost ticket. And if you want to take advantage of the after-hours networking session where you can talk one-on-one with the speakers and other attendees, go to MillionairePowerCoupleAfterDark.com. And thank you again, Shay, and thank you again to all the amazing speakers that were here tonight. I mean, the summit, as far as I'm concerned, the summit already started. This is just a snippet of what you can expect to experience when you come into the summit. When you see the mindset shift that was taking place just here for this brief period of time, imagine what is going to transpire over the course of 3 hours, 3 days, 5 hours a day, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Then we come back at 7 p.m. for those after dark one-on-one sessions.
Good. So thanks so much. With that being said, thank you all for watching. Thank everyone at home. I want you to know as you're listening right now that you've got greatness inside you. And for you, the best is still yet to come. The best is yet to come. The best is yet to come. Take any one of these ideas, implement it, and I promise you, it'll not only make a difference for you, make a difference for your family, but make a difference for everybody you were called to serve. This is your moment. This is your time. With that being said, my name for those folks, Akira Shea Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur. Make it a great day, everyone. And I promise you from the bottom of my heart, we'll make some good things happen. We connect again next time. Remember, time is long. Life, on the other hand, is very, very short. You got to live in the moment, and you got to make it count. God bless me. Wish you success. Thanks a lot, everybody. We'll see you later. Bye-bye. We're out of here.